Tired of dropping your phone or struggling to prop it up? Meet the PopSockets phone grip with expanding kickstand in black, your new must-have accessory. Don't miss out. Grab yours today. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Keir Starmer blasts Putin as not a serious player, as he demands deadline for Russia. Sir Keir Starmer called for Russia to be given a deadline to begin negotiating peace with Ukraine at a summit of fellow European leaders in Paris. The Prime Minister condemned President Putin as not a serious player in the current peace talks, warning that the Russian dictator's promises are hollow. Sir Keir met with President Zelensky and French Premier Emmanuel Macron in the latest talks for his planned coalition of the willing. The PM announced that British military chiefs will shortly visit the war-torn Eastern European country to begin developing operational plans for enforcing a potential ceasefire. European leaders accused Russia of dragging their feet, filibustering, and playing games and playing for times. Read more. Keir Starmer says show of support for Zelensky makes him proud to be British. Sir Keir observed, "It is a classic from the Putin playbook." He added, "This week in London, we hosted over 200 military planners from 30 countries, coming forward with contributions on everything from logistics and command and control to deployments on land, air, and sea. That work continues at pace. We will be ready to operationalize a peace deal, whatever its precise shape turns out to be. And we will work together to ensure Ukraine's security so it can defend and deter against future attacks." Asked about his call for a deadline for Putin to begin seriously engaging in peace talks, Sir Keir said he would not put a hard deadline on Russia when pressed for details. He argued, "I don't want to put a hard deadline on this, but we need to see this developing in days and weeks, not months and months, and we need to move on to that space." After a walkabout in Paris with the Ukrainian leader, Sir Keir reiterated Britain's support in a joint press conference. Sir Keir told reporters, "We've just had a very constructive meeting of the coalition of the willing, bigger than we've had before, 30 countries plus NATO and the EU. I'm absolutely determined to see peace through strength. There was absolute clarity that Russia is trying to delay, is playing games, and we have to be absolutely clear about that." Don't miss Reform poll bombshell as Nigel Farage bounces back from Rupert Lowe latest. State pensioners face bizarre tax cliff edge in just 2 years latest. Keir Starmer heads to Paris for latest coalition of the willing meeting latest. We use your sign-up to provide content in ways you've consented to and to improve our understanding of you. This may include adverts from us and third parties based on our understanding. You can unsubscribe at any time. Read our privacy policy. He outlined 3 resolutions, including more support for Ukraine, clarity that now is not the time to lift sanctions on Russia, and plans for reassuring the peace with military power on land, in the air, and at sea. He told President Zelensky, "Volodymyr, you have our support, you must have felt that in the room, and you have our full support as long as it takes." In return, President Zelensky thanked Sir Keir for his support and commended the leadership of France and Britain. He added, "I think that Keir said all the outcomes that are very important for us. No lifting of any kind of sanctions until Russia stops this war. More pressure and more sanctions is important." The second point is new packages of support for Ukraine, and we heard some leaders' new packages. We're thankful for those. We heard with a common voice how to push Russia, and everybody understands that Russia doesn't want any kind of peace. That is very important. We will work on security guarantees over the coming weeks and days, and this is very important to think about our future. The Prime Minister suggested that MPs will be given the opportunity to vote on deploying British troops in Ukraine. He told reporters in Paris, "You know my long-standing position, which is, if we were to deploy in any scenario on a long-term basis, then of course, Parliament should have a say in that." Yesterday, President Zelensky accused Russia of breaking the agreed ceasefire over targeting energy production. He said that an energy facility in the Kherson region was attacked by Russian strikes yesterday and called for a U.S. response. European leaders agreed that now is not the time to begin lifting economic sanctions on Russia. However, President Macron said there is currently no continent-wide agreement on sending European troops to uphold any peace deal. Italian Premier Giorgia Meloni, an ally of President Trump, who has ruled out sending her country's troops to Ukraine as part of the coalition of the willing, called on the U.S. to be involved at the next summit.